Joining me now is Scott Major. He is a national disaster insurance expert and attorney in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So, Scott, given the devastation in the Bahamas, we've seen those horrible pictures and the disaster response right now with the people who survived. When does the actual damage assessment begin?
Well, once they finish the rescue efforts, which will continue onward, and I predict you're going to find hundreds, if not thousands of people that are dead or lost, you'll start that assessment protocol, and you're pretty much talking about billions of dollars of damages. Having handled storms like this and been involved in these things for decades, I can tell you that this is one of biblical or epic proportion, the amount of damages you're going to have, both from infrastructure, from getting food and resources to the people, to the mental and emotional strife that's going to happen with the problems that are associated with not having anywhere to go, anywhere to live, anywhere to be.
I mean, you're right. We're taking a look at some of the photos from the Bahamas right now, and there is nothing left. What goes into getting to that dollar amount? Do people have to come in and start the cleanup first, and then it goes to assessing how you rebuild? I mean, what are the next steps there?
Sure, there's a lot of infrastructure challenges associated with these kinds of problems. The first thing you have to do is look at your safety protocol and making sure you're getting people rescued and then getting them the basic necessities, the food, the water, the resources, communications, things like that. Then you have to talk about housing. I mean, there are thousands and thousands of people that have literally nowhere to live, nowhere to sleep, nowhere to eat. So you have a lot of infrastructure challenges. Concomitant with that, or along with that, you'll have assessments of damages, because we have to figure out ways to rebuild the infrastructure, both on a temporary basis, whether that's with tents or other things, and on a permanent basis when you start rebuilding homes, hospitals, businesses, and other items.
You're in Florida, so no stranger to living through hurricanes and working with people who have been affected. How long will it take to rebuild all of that?
Well, it will take years, and in some cases 5 to 10 years, to get the kind of structures in place that you want. But the faster that they can get their infrastructure in place and start that process, the better. In the States, if you see after post-Hurricane Michael or Hurricane Irma or Wilma or Katrina, you can see how long it took to get that infrastructure done. But the concept is that if people are making claims and properly documenting their damages, they can start the personal and business recovery standpoint a lot faster than necessarily the government infrastructure that might take a little longer.
And any idea what the insurance situation is there in the Bahamas? I mean, are they waiting to get in? How is it structured? And any advice do you have for people?
The most important thing is to think about the safety and welfare, and for governments over there and infrastructures over there, it's really important that you figure out plans for how you're going to not only deal with the problems with food and infrastructure, whether you're going to use drones or helicopters to drop food, but it's also where are you putting the people, and how are you dealing with the waste that's going to happen, from people when they can't use the restroom facilities. There's no running water. There's problems associated with communications. You're going to have to really measure that infrastructure development very quickly and position people in different parts of the islands with temporary accommodations in those strategic locations, so you can distribute food and money and resources that they may need, healthcare, other types of things that are just non-existent right there. Very much like if you went over to Mexico Beach after Hurricane Michael and you saw it look like a bomb hit it, or if you went down to Miami after Hurricane Andrew and you couldn't even find your own street because there were no signs and there was nothing there.
Scott Major in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it.